Former President Jimmy Carter has died at his home in Plains, Georgia. He was 100 years old. Carter was the 39th president of the United States, serving in the White House from 1977 until 1981. Joining us right now on the Squawk Newsline is Evercore Senior Chairman Roger Altman. He served as the Assistant Treasury Secretary in the Carter administration for those same years, 1977 to 1981. And Roger, thank you for joining us this morning.
Good morning, Becky.
We've been remembering President Carter, and I wonder if you can share some of your thoughts this morning, some of your memories.
Well, first of all, I have very fond memories of him. I owe him a huge debt of gratitude because at a rather young age, he allowed me to serve the country for those 4 years, and that was a tremendous privilege that he gave me. I also think fondly of President Carter because I think he made better use of his ex-presidency than any other president in the history of the country. After all, he won the Nobel Peace Prize as an ex-president. He had decades of focus on eradicating disease, especially guinea worm disease in Africa, which he really personally took on and is almost eradicated today. As we all know, he was fanatical about building houses for the poor, working with Habitat for Humanity, his role as an election overseer all around the world for decades. He wrote 32 books, and he was a remarkably humble man in so many respects, teaching Sunday school in Plains, Georgia for all these years, every Sunday, and of course creating the Carter Center itself, which has had a tremendous impact in so many nonprofit ways. It's true that his presidency is seen as a mixed or unsuccessful one, and I think that's in large measure due to three huge events over which he didn't really have any control, and I'm referring to the Iranian Revolution and the disruptions in global oil supply in 1978 and 79 and 80 that it caused, 7% reduction in global oil supply, which of course triggered much higher oil and gasoline prices and those long gas lines so many of us remember, and this affected the public. The Iranian hostage crisis itself, which went on for 444 days, and his efforts to solve that and the failed rescue mission, and then inflation, which was to some considerable degree triggered by that disruption in global oil supply, but which was fearsome during the last 2 years of his presidency. And if there's one lesson that I think we can learn from President Carter's term and President Biden's term, it's that Americans hate inflation, and that doomed him. But he accomplished a little more than people tend to remember. The Egyptian-Israeli peace accord, which was in every respect historic and which has endured through today. He was the original focus on renewable energy, at least in terms of presidents. He had quite a remarkable deregulation agenda, airlines, trucking, and so forth. And the racial and gender diversity of his judicial appointments, which was historic. I think he has quite a legacy, especially as ex-president. And I think it's pretty unlikely that that ex-presidential record, given the longevity of it, and of course, the way he dedicated himself, is going to be matched by anyone else.